Recording in progress.
Good evening and welcome to the City of Sunbury's August 31st, 2022 council meeting at 7:30 p.m. Would you please join me in a moment of silent prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance? Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
All right, Mayor St. John.
Here.
Mr. Capel. Here. Tim Goes, absent. Mr. Neff.
Here.
Mr. Grumney. Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mrs. Cooper.
Here.
6 present. We have a quorum.
Great. We did have a meeting on August 17th. I believe 4 of the members that are up here this evening attended.
I'll make the motion with one change. Under new business, under Cooper, it says that Ghost made a motion on the trick or treat and it was seconded by Neff, but Cooper made the motion and Ghost seconded the motion.
Noted. Right. Any other comments? Or is there a motion?
I made the motion with the changes.
Okay, thank you. Second, Mr. Kappa. Roll call.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
Mayor St. John.
Abstain.
Mr. Neff.
Yes.
Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Abstain.
All right, 4 yeses, 2 abstains.
All right, we're on the visitor section. Are there any visitors in the audience that would like to speak with council? Okay. On the committee reports, Mr. Grumney.
You know,
All right, Mr. Kappa.
no report tonight.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes, on August 22nd, we had a zoning meeting. We approved the preliminary plat for Eagle Creek. The developers are being, I can't think of the word. I've thought about it. Flexible, because that location of that land is near where the Sunbury Parkway is going to be. So it's a moving sort of process with that for a section of that plot. And also we had a gentleman, Mr. Alan Davis. He was looking for a certificate of use for home occupation. He lives over in Sunbury Meadows and that was approved as well. Both were approved.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's it. Thank you.
Mr. Martin.
Nothing to report.
Mr. Net.
Nothing to report.
All right, I have no updates on committees. No police report this evening, correct? Yeah, good deal. We're on to the administrator's report.
Thanks, Mayor. I did provide a report earlier in the week. One update that I'd like to give. We did get a confirmation today from the State Board of Building that the application for the sub-department for Delaware County was approved. And that will be effective October 1st. Any permits before October 1st will follow through our system. Any permits after October 1st will be within the county system. Just a note, we're going to have to amend 2022-20 because it's got some that's our zoning fees and that'll have to change slightly. And next week I'll be meeting with Dwayne, I'm not going to remember his last name, to talk about implementation. And I've already got some things on my whiteboard and on a scribble pad here about making sure everybody gets informed, gets a couple different ways of knowing what's going on. And then we're going to have to tinker our process a little bit too. So, but October 1st.
That's great.
Yeah. I think it'll be a big improvement, both for our residents and for our internal processes. And I'll answer any questions if you have any from the report.
I just want to say a great job to Steve and staff, and thanks to the county for the partnership there. We listened to our residents beginning last year about some opportunities for improvement We evaluated options, whether build up our own inspection process or look to standardize with the county. And one thing this is going to do is it's going to create a very standardized process for all the townships in the area. And I believe Galena utilizes the county as well. So it's just great to see that we're going to be along with that. And it's going to set clear expectations for developers, contractors, homeowners, anybody that wants to do improvements, and the output should be the same as well. So great job, Steve. Check that one off the list.
Yeah, on
Almost.
October 15th, if it's running smoothly, then we'll check it off the list.
Excellent. Free up a little real estate on your whiteboard.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, anything else? Any feedback for Steve or comments? Great work. All right, engineers report.
Thank you, Mayor. Didn't have a written report. I'll have that for next Wednesday's meeting. But I did have an update. We did submit on some funding application this afternoon, actually, for standby power at the pump station. That's through Ohio EPA. It's essentially a grant up to $50,000. We are also going to pursue some FEMA funding in September for the emergency generators or standby power at the pump station. So we're pursuing that. Continue to work on many things, and all is good. And I'll have an updated written report for the next meeting. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Hall. All right, we are on to resolutions. No resolutions. Ordinances, third reading, ordinance number 2021.49 will remain tabled.
Good. I was just, the next ordinance, we've got some amended language. I'd like to talk about that and get that motion to vote before we read it.
For 2236.
22, yes.
Okay. All right. Back to 2021-49, it will remain tabled. We're on to second readings, ordinance number 2022.36. Would you like me to read?
I would just say, before you read the ordinance, you do have a red line version in your packet. Primary changes, there are some legal language that was inserted by our counsel for that. It was in a little bit of a rush last time when we got it on for our first reading, so I did tweak some of that language. Nothing really that I think any of you would be concerned about substance wise. But there is the implementation schedule that's been added. And that is of substance, I think, to everybody. We're going to implement the new impact fees 50%. And I think this was discussed in finance, so it shouldn't be new, 50% January 1st. Then they'll be paying 75% of the new fees effective July 1st, I believe, of 2023. And then the full fee will be in effect January 1st, 2023. So that has been added to the ordinance. I'd like a motion and a vote to accept those changes to the ordinance.
I'd like to make a motion based on the red line changes that were referenced by Law Director Breen. Second by Mr. Grumney. Discussion. Roll call.
Mayor St. John.
Yes.
Mr. Grumney.
Yes.
Mr. Capel.
Yes.
Mr. Neff.
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper.
Yes.
Mr. Martin.
Yes.
6 ayes, approved.
All right, so we're on to the second reading of ordinance number 2022.36. An ordinance revising development impact fee amounts for police and municipal facilities, adopting new development impact fees for parks and recreation facilities and road facilities, and other general updates to the procedures for the imposition, calculation, collection, expenditure, and administration of development impact fees to be imposed on new development, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. All right, no first readings, and we're on to new and unfinished business. We've got a letter of support for parks. I believe Preservation Parks is looking to.
They are seeking a Green Ohio grant that would allow them to acquire some additional land for a regional preserve park. On your screen, you can kind of get a reference that green parcel is one that they own now, and they're looking to assemble some of the parcels adjacent to it to eventually end up with, I think, around 450 acres of preserved land. Adjacent fairly adjacent to Sunbury. Probably a very good thing for our quality of life. I don't think they're going to heavily develop it. I think it will be mostly as a preserve. But they've asked for a letter of support from Sunbury in their application for the state funds that would allow them the funding to buy some of that land.
For reference, the maps are sometimes hard to, unless you spend your day looking at stuff like this. If you're going out towards, if you all know where Country View Nursing Home is, to go out there, you can go New 3 and go to Connet and go left and then go back on Old 3, or you can take Old 3C Highway out there. That is what they own. What's shaded there would be on the left side, which would be generally the north side of Old 3C. Not too far down, I don't think, from Country View when you're almost there. And what they're looking to acquire, I believe, is on the right side. I'm not sure how much access will be off New 3. I imagine some, but that is a limited access road. But I imagine there will be access, especially since they have both sides off Old 3 there. So just as far as, you know, its accessibility from Sunbury, it's really not too far. And that's a really nice drive on that road. It's a nice winding road and so forth. So
The Ohio to Erie Trail, just on the east side.
Ohio Erie is very close. Yeah, it's going to have positive water quality issues because of the drainages, keeping that in wetlands and tree lands. So I go.
the white line is New 3C Highway that kind of runs across the map from left to right. The Ohio Erie Trail goes from the lower left corner and ends up right there being adjacent to New 3. That's the old railroad. Oh, is that this? That's
Yep.
this? Yeah,
That's the railroad bed.
Any comments or questions? Anybody like to make the motion of support?
Yeah, I'll make the motion of support.
What's that?
I'll make a motion that Mr. Piles writes the letter of support.
Okay. We have a motion by Mrs. Cooper.
Second.
Second by Mr. Martin. Discussion? Roll call.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Cap,
Yes.
6 ayes, motion approved.
Right. We have a welcome to Sunbury, new residents.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. So the other day I had the opportunity, the privilege to have a lunch with Mayor St. John. Thank you again for that invite. And had a chance just to kind of chat about the city and some plans and just kind of broadening my knowledge a little bit about the council process. And so I appreciate his time. And in that conversation, before I talk about the new resident information, I just like to say in the conversation with the mayor, and I echo his feelings and thoughts about staff, police, services, the staff that's here today, just what an excellent job you do. And what a privilege it is to serve, but this job is made so much easier because of you folks. So I agree with you, and I think that's certainly the case. So you're professional, you're responsive, you're knowledgeable, all great things, people you want to be around. So thank you for your stuff. So in our conversation, and the reason this came up, so when I moved to Avon, Ohio, clear back in like 1996, I think, up near Cleveland, I moved in and I lived there for about a year, and I got a nasty letter from this lady called Rita. And she told me that I was a year behind on my taxes, and here's your penalty and all that. And at that time, my wife and I had about $7 on our bank account. And so they worked with me, but I had to get explained to me what Rita was and why I had to pay Rita. So I always thought when you move in a new community, it would be nice to receive something, and how that's received, I'm not sure, whether that's an actual packet, a pamphlet, maybe it's online, I'm not sure, but something when a new resident comes in to help them get acquainted with the town, with the city, and the services around them. So Steve was kind enough to share something on the Sunbury website that I hadn't noticed before, but it is a new resident information welcome place. It talks about local taxes and utilities, sewer service, and things of that nature. So all very important. But I'm just wondering if we couldn't expand on that and introduce them about Rita. Maybe we partner with the school district a little bit. Maybe we partner with the Chamber of Commerce. I think Steve, you mentioned that about some of the local businesses. The utilities, important phone numbers, who's your city council members? Rita, I think I said Rita. I obviously know Rita's had an effect on me. So, you know, active schedules, when do we have, what do we do for Memorial Day? What's sizzle and sounds? What do we do for 4th of July? So just like, it's kind of like when I go to like a timeshare or to a condo and they've got a book of the local area, it shows you restaurants and activities and dates and things like that. But I think it would help a new resident really acquaint themselves with the city and really take advantage of what we had to offer versus just stumbling across it or maybe talking to a neighbor a couple of years later saying, I didn't know that. So just a thought, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't want to create work for people, but if we have something that already exists and we want to just go with that or add to it or do something different, I was just throwing that out there. This is your police chief or this is your police force, get to know them. They're going to have a meet and greet usually or what have you. Something like that.
Is there some way that the vehicle to get it in people's hands is what I'm wondering about. And is that something we could work together with the Realtors Association? That because they're the ones that talk to most new people coming to town. If we
Is there
had a
something we
document,
do
we could
now?
put through them. What's that?
Is there something that we do now? 'Cause I feel like I got something in the mail when we bought our house.
When you have people, how do you track when new residents move in and get billed with the sewer? You get their name and address.
Yeah,
at that point, right?
They sign up for a new sewer account.
Yeah.
That's probably when it would pop on our radar. And that could be a trigger to send.
Yeah.
We can't just stuff their utility bill because that's done by a third party. So it'd be a separate mailing, but we could do a separate mailing.
I don't think it'd be quite as well received if it was stuffed in with the utility bill.
I think every other month we could devote a line to the utility bill. Hey, new residents, here's a link that will take you to our website that's got the new resident information and things like that. But we could have a physical mailing that we do.
I feel like when we bought our house, we got something in the mail and it came with like coupons.
That's the post office.
Does
They
the
get a
post
change of
office do
address.
that?
Yeah, I don't even think they do that anymore.
Okay.
Change of address kicks off a mailing that, Lowe's coupon for a washer and dryer, half price or something.
I think it was Sunbury though, because there was local like salons.
But it
They
wasn't
worked with the
Sunbury.
poli-
no.
okay,
Yeah,
post office.
Yeah, the post office goes out and kind of gets this marketing stuff from local businesses.
okay.
It's kind of like those
Okay.
mailers that you
Okay.
get that have.
Value packs
Yeah,
or whatever.
like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you run into an issue, like if we were to give information to the Chamber of Commerce, we're giving other people's private information away, which could end up getting us in some kind of trouble, that. I
So
think
the
there
chamber
is-
right
we have to watch
now-
out for.
The chamber right now is working on, is it a directory, would you say, Daryl? Have you worked with them?
Yeah,
They're currently working on a project. It wouldn't be exclusively what we need, but I think we could partner with them.
Yeah.
And we could
Yeah.
probably send out, and the directory is going to be businesses, but it's also going to be, they're going to have things on Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions.
So we
Yeah,
could get copies of that from
I
them
think so.
and then send it out to people when they apply for their wastewater bill.
So you like the idea of a physical mailing, not just the link concept?
I personally do, but I'm not very techno. So,
I am pretty techno and I hate getting a bunch of garbage in my mail, but I actually think the physical mailer in this case
I do too.
would be 100% the way to go.
I agree.
And we could probably draft a letter or something that it's with a calendar on it and explain who the mayor is.
A
And
giant picture of
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah, Joe.
signature across the front.
Autograph.
autograph all of them.
I do like the concept of like the welcome to the neighborhood, welcome to the community. I don't think we do a good job of like highlighting all the great things about the community. Oftentimes I'm like, I had no idea. I knew it was a quaint town, but I didn't know you had 30 events on the square every year.
Mhm.
Believe it or not, I think this was a year or two ago. I was talking with somebody and they said, yeah, we live over in the Mills. And I said, yeah, have you ever been, well, somehow the square came up. Oh, we've never made it over there. You know, they live over there, Kroger's there, they work that way.
They never
Yeah.
made it
They
over.
never made it to the square.
Wow.
So, you know, just to, again, the information, you know, distribution of information on what's here. Yeah. Be a valuable resource, I think.
I think, I don't want to poke holes in everything, but I think we need to think about people that change renter address as well. You know, there's new people that move in. So the sewer thing, I think, captures probably a large majority of our current demographic, but we gotta try to capture everybody. And, there's ways to solve for it for sure. I love the physical mail piece of it.
But don't renters pay their own water and sewer?
Some do, some don't.
Some do, some don't. You're right. Yeah, and I was talking
Yeah.
about like,
All right.
a rental facility, a lot of times it's just like one price.
Oh, when I lived in the apartment while my house was being fixed, I had to pay my water and sewer bill every month. I thought they all did.
Please.
We'll capture those things. but-
Yeah, we can work on it.
Well, thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
Good idea.
My guess is there's other communities that do this, so maybe we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Great idea, John.
Maybe be marketing companies that would make.
Right.
And then advertise it, you know, let the businesses advertise in it in that pace.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I had this conversation before with Mr. Neff. Do you remember if there was anything else? Because you had some ideas too, but now I don't remember what.
Joe was gonna hand deliver all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you still will hand
course.
deliver them.
I can do
That
that.
goes, yeah. Wasn't anything else that you remember?
It was along those lines.
Yeah, okay.
Anything else, on this? All right, I agree. Move forward. Okay, we're on to anything from staff before we get to new and unfinished business. All right. New and unfinished business? No. All right, Mr. Capel.
Nothing here.
Super.
There's the Labor Day flea market on Monday. There's going to be a 50-50 if you go. The proceeds are going to go towards playground equipment for the new middle school, or the new intermediate school is at the old middle school, so it doesn't have playground equipment, and the 5th and 6th graders still get outside time. So this is going to be a fundraiser. The 50-50 is going to be a fundraiser for playground equipment. So yep, that's it.
And is it the Methodist Church that's?
Yeah, they're doing a flea market as well.
Okay, not this one. Who's running this one? Kiwanis?
Kiwanis.
Okay. Awesome. Anything, Mr. Mark?
Just said it's good to be back.
It's great to have you. Mr. Neff?
Nothing.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, we've had several good discussions, with school leadership about everything from traffic to event management, how we can partner together. One thing I did want to tune everybody into that you may not be aware is we're having discussions with them on converting potentially a part-time SRO officer position into a full-time SRO position. We're working through how that would work. We're kind of midstream in our current agreement right now. And we're still going through collective bargaining. So there's some moving obstacles, I guess, that we're working through, but I've had nothing but good experiences with Superintendent McLean. You may know Megan Foreman was hired on as the assistant superintendent, and they are still hiring bus drivers right now. So, and from what I heard, BWE is going to be closed due to a water
A
main
water
break
break.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just for those who are watching online. That said, all is good. Thank you very much. This is the 3rd meeting in August, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Martin. Second by Mr. Neff. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
Mr. Neff,
Yes.
Mr. Grumney,
Yes.
Mrs. Cooper,
Yes.
Mayor St. John,
Yes.
Mr. Capel,
Yes.
6 ayes. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Tonight, man, that was quick.
What's that?
Was that short and sweet?
That's right.